Hello and welcome back to another video, and today we're back here on MotoGP 24, but today I'm actually doing a live GP video. So I've decided for this year what I'm going to do is pretty much every week. I don't know if it will end up being every week, but I'm going to try and play as many live GP races as I can, or play a few races and then just sort of deliver the highlights of the races every week or every so often, depending on how often I end up doing it. So this is going to be the first one. That's going to be post-commed as well, so let me know what you guys think of that in the comments below and whether you do enjoy the video. But yeah, I managed to do 3 races this week, so this video is just going to be the highlights of those. So on to the first race then. You can see we're here at Motegi. Actually, this was pretty much the first day that the game came out, so the riding's a bit shaky, and you can see in qualifying already, first lap has been invalidated with a crash at turn 1, which is something that seems to happen pretty regularly to me online. A couple of laps later as well, you can see it says invalid lap, but it's actually not invalid. But now it is. As you can see, we actually went slightly over the track limits. It must have been really, really fine, because even watching that video back, I don't really think I did. But in the end, we did manage to get a lap, as you can see, coming up towards the line. What is this time going to be? 1:45.1, and at that time, it was good enough for 6th position. And at the end, you can see it's only 8th position, so not the best place to be starting for our first live GP race on MotoGP 24, but you know what? It's still online at the end of the day, and anything can happen. But here we are on the grid now. Then the lights are on, waiting for them to go out for this first race here at Motegi. Lights out, and away we go. Pretty decent jump off the line. So we've already jumped on the LCRs down towards turn 1. And a couple of Ducatis come flying up the inside. Someone on the inside there, a little bit of contact. Yellow flag, contact with the LCR ride as well. I think he's actually crashed now on the outside of that first corner. Mystic Prune on the KTM comes past. The same with Mike Rider. I think Mike Rider was one of the Ducatis that sent it into the first corner. And speaking of sending it, we're at the inside. 2 for the price of 1. A KTM and a Ducati. Back up then into P7, so just ahead of where we started. And we can see in front there, Shazan goes off the track. A little bit of contact with Shazan, actually. Dill sort of ran him to the edge of the track a little bit there. I think a bit of understeer. And Shazan now at the inside. Dive bomb, and not the inside of us comes the KTM and the Ducati. And unfortunately, the KTM Mystic Prune ends up on the ground, but a bit optimistic for the pair of them there, to be honest. And we go around the outside of the Ducati that did it as well. And then somebody that's crashed on the left-hand side. It's a pretty hectic start to the race, up to P6. We've actually gained 2 positions from our starting position, even though we've had all this carnage. And we're now behind our fellow Grassini Ducati rider. He looks like he is struggling a little bit. And into the V corner, on the inside we go. Bit of an unexpected move there. Really, really close past that as well. He tries to get the cutback on us, but there we go. 5th place, pretty decent first lap then, up 3 positions. And you can see some of the leaders in front are starting to get away. Somebody off there into the V corner as well. I think it's Race Boy, not the V corner. That's the hairpin curve, isn't it? There we go. Getting the corners wrong already. But here we are then, cutting onto lap number 2 now then. And you can see we are in 3rd place, currently a little bit behind it. Wow! Okay, we've been absolutely rammed from behind there by Shazan. So our Grassini Ducati brethren not wanting us to do very well. Crash under investigation, yeah, I should hope so, because that was absolutely appalling riding from him. And we've lost the position to Mike Rider in all that, but we're still pretty much side by side with him on the brakes into turn 5. I think we've just got the position. He tries to get the cutback, but it seems like we have got it for now. And you can see on the right-hand side, that guy did get a warning for that. And rightfully so, because what was he doing? It was absolutely ridiculous. And a little bit further on this lap then, you can see the gap now is up to 2 seconds to Dill in front. So that podium getting further and further away as we go to the 90-degree corner. And we get knocked off once again. Well, obviously the first time we stayed on, but we got knocked off by somebody else. And we're actually back behind Shazan once again. So down to 7th place. What was that move from Mike Rider? Absolutely. Actually, I don't think it was Mike Rider, to be fair. He's in P5. It was actually a move for P4, wasn't it? But either way, it's under investigation, and we get a warning for that. We got a warning for that guy just sending it up the inside of me, completely knocking me off and carrying on like nothing happened. Of course, classic milestone penalty system. And on the next lap, you can see we're all over the back now of Shazan. He has a bit of a mistake there, loses the front, contact with his bike. To be honest, I didn't play that well. Maybe I should have picked the bike up, but it is difficult to know when the bike's going to slide. If I tried to pick it up, probably would have got caught up with it on the outside and maybe would have more likely crashed. So lucky to get away with that one there. And cutting now onto the penultimate lap of the race. It's a crash ahead. It is actually Dill 469. And there we go. We're going to get past him as he rejoins the track, are we? Yes, we are. Drops in behind us. And that's up into P5. So a top 5 position, but he's going to be pretty fast behind us. But in the end, it didn't matter because I think he ended up crashing again. So up towards the line. It is 5th place in our first live GP race. 11 seconds off the race winner, which isn't too bad considering I got absolutely destroyed a couple of times in that one. So yeah, the riding standards in live GP not a lot better than regular online. To be honest, the only difference is obviously there's the ranking system. As you can see, we gained 44 points from that race, and then of course the pace of the riders is just generally a little bit better in live GP. Moving on to the second race of the week now, and you can see this time we are actually at Masano on the Aprilia. We've cut straight into qualifying, coming up towards the line. We have set a 1 minute 32.8, but this race actually ends up being completely, well, not this race, but this live GP ends up being a bit irrelevant, as you will see in a little bit. And you can see we go on the green there on our next lap, so that's an invalidation, so not great. But coming down towards the Caro corner, we get a massive amount of bad luck as we come through here. The game just completely crashes. So that was pretty frustrating because, of course, in live GP, you lose points when it's crashing. There was actually a really, really good lobby as well, and you can see how it ended up coming back on the game and ended up losing 80 points there. But this is where it really does get interesting. So I'd kind of missed the start of the event because, of course, they are all timed. I'd actually joined one, of course, but obviously then the game crashed and booted me out, so I had to come in and join another one. And you can see here, we've ended up in a two-person lobby. At least at this point, there's 3 minutes, but as you see, as the timer gets down, it literally ends up being myself and Felipe Moreira. So literally, live GP ends up being a 1v1. Nothing to really write home about in qualifying because he just couldn't do a lap that was valid. I did a 31.1, which isn't an amazing lap, but not too bad. So we ended up qualifying on pole position for the 1v1 here. But the lights are on then, waiting for them to go out here for this Masano live GP. Lights out, and away we go. Can we convert pole to a win? Hopefully we can, because it is literally a 1v1. But we break for first corner. He goes massively wide, completely cuts the first corner. So we've lost the lead immediately, but hopefully he should give it us back as he comes back on the track. Yes, he does. So we retake the lead from him. And to be completely honest, that was it. Did not see the guy again. You can see on the gap here, 40 seconds as we come up towards the line, which obviously you guys know is the amount of time you actually get to finish after the leader has finished. And as you can see, he ended up not finishing the race. So a pretty boring one for me. I had to end up doing 9 laps on my own, but it was a free victory. A bit of a shame because I was actually looking forward to battling the other guys in the other lobby because there were some of the people from the first lobby that you saw and I was getting a little bit better. Some people were pretty quick, but you can see ridiculously we earned 101 points for that. And bear that in mind for later on because that was a 1v1 against someone who couldn't do a clean lap in qualifying. He was out for the whole session, by the way. It wasn't the case that he just left it too late and didn't do it. He was trying for the entire session, and then we managed to beat by 40 seconds. That was the amount of points we got for that. So it does seem a bit random because you would think for a 1v1 you'd actually end up getting less points, but whatever. We gained everything that we lost from that disconnection back, plus a little bit more, so I suppose you can't moan too much, I suppose. It's a net positive, I guess, in the end. For the final race, though, it was back to Motegi once again. So typically, just as in last year's live GP, great selection. You can see my first qualifying lap goes down the drain as we cut the 90-degree corner. Bit of a silly mistake to make, to be quite honest. But you can see I did rectify it a couple of laps later up towards the line. 1 minute 44.3, which put us in second position at that point of the session. Whether that will be good enough for second at the end of the session, I don't know. There you go then. Third place it was at the end of the session. Half a second off of pole and now onto the grid. Can we try and get another win here like we did in the last race? The lights are on, waiting for them to go out here for Motegi. Lights out and away we go. A pretty decent launch off the line. There's another Aprilia has beat us down towards the turn 1. KTM on the outside as well. That Grassini Ducati, I don't even know how he crashed there. It was a very, very strange crash, but goes down at the first corner. So we've converted third into fourth. So not been the best start because we've lost 2 positions. Obviously got lucky with 1 crash. Get back past that Aprilia on the run towards turn 2. So that's another free position. You can see the KTM in front, Mystic Prune, goes wide, loses the front, and that puts us straight back up into second position. So Kobe, this guy, you can see he was obviously the guy on pole position, was really, really fast. So at this point, I wanted to make sure that I could stay as close to him as possible. I mean, he's already got 7 tenths on me. And the thing is, once you lose a gap in this game, it's pretty difficult to get it back. And it's really difficult to overtake as well. So I knew it was something I needed to try, push on this first lap. And you can see we're taking yards out of him as we go through 130R. The rear came around a little bit there, though, which cost us a bit of time. And into turn 7, where we were pretty quick in the last live GP race at this track as well. Guy behind crashes, so that takes all the pressure off from behind. There's our 4-second gap back to Mystic Prune in third place. So it's all about myself and Kobe now already on this very first lap. And you can see we're just keeping the gap about half a second, just under half a second there as we go down towards the V corner. I've called it the V corner again. It's the hairpin curve. How many times are we going to make that mistake in this video? But here we go then through the hairpin curve, Can we try and close up to Kirby? We actually have a little bit. So we're only 3 tenths behind him now. We shoved the slipstream all the way down towards the 90-degree corner. Although, honestly, didn't look too powerful there, which is a bit strange, because actually the slipstream's been overall quite powerful in this game so far. But I guess that is the power of the Ducati versus the power of the Aprilia, because of course it has got a lot more power. But at this point, we are looking all over the back of him as we go into the final corner. We cut the corner actually on the inside a little bit there, so that's a very fair track limits warning. We're lucky to get away with just a warning. But on the exit, he goes on the grass. Not sure how he did that. I think maybe it was a mistake as he put the Rider device on. He just made a bit of a mistake, went on the grass. But that actually gives us the lead. So we managed to turn a 7/10 deficit into the lead by the end of the first lap. So a pretty decent one. And cutting a few corners later down towards turn 5. He goes on the inside, goes on the grass, in fact, to try and overtake us. I think it was a mistake, though. I think he's just trying to avoid us, because we get a massive wheelie out the corner, but then he shuts the throttle, lets us back through, and apparently he did also apologise in game chat, but I actually had game chat muted, so I didn't hear or see that one. And a few corners later, coming out of the V corner, down towards the hairpin curve, actually got it right this time, hitting the brakes, trying to brake as late as we can, and up the inside he goes. Wow, that was a dive bomb, wasn't it? Dive bomb and a half. He gets back up the inside, but of course, completely blows the corner. We get the switch back and down towards the 90-degree corner. We've got a bit of a lead, but not much. Only a couple of tenths of a second. You can see that Ducati, obviously, as we saw on the previous lap, was so fast through this section. We've run a bit wide actually through the 90-degree corner. Again, the rear was squirming a little bit, and cutting now a couple of laps later down towards turn 3. The Ducati sort of mirror signal manoeuvre past us. He's on the outside. Can we hang it up the inside? No. He manages to hang it on the outside. A really good pass, actually, to be fair, because it wasn't all done on the straight. He had to do a bit of that on the brakes, sort of turn in, trust that I wasn't going to hit him. And actually some pretty good racing there from Kobe, because I've got nothing but good things to say about the guy, because obviously he cut the corner a little bit on the previous lap, but he immediately let us back through, so it's clearly a mistake. We both absolutely blow turn 5 there, really bad, but we actually get a really good run out of turn 5. And at this point I was thinking, right, I need to overtake him as soon as possible, and through 130R we get a really good run, and up the inside we go for the Rossi pass through turn 7. Bit of contact actually there. He actually lost the front there. He's very lucky to stay on the bike, but there we go, back up into the lead through the S curve, down into the V corner. This actually is the V corner this time. So again, finally learning the corner names at Motegi. But that was pretty much it for the race. I think sort of him passing me kind of spurred me on. And you can see on the right hand side, we actually just got faster and faster. And actually, as we're coming up towards the line, we're still underneath. And we're actually on course to set the fastest lap of the race on the final lap. Ended up 3.6 seconds ahead as we crossed the line there. Although you can see that by the end actually was only 3.5 on the final results. But there you go, 2 wins out of 3 in our first week of Live GP. Now, one of them didn't really count. I don't think we would have won that race in Masano, because I was actually struggling quite a lot in qualifying. But this is what I meant earlier. 85 points for that compared to the 100 points for the 1v1, where the guy that I was against this time was much faster, the gap was much closer, there was more people in the lobby. Not too sure what that was all about, but there you go. It just kind of shows that Live GP's ranking system still needs a little bit of work, but it does seem a lot better than the previous one, because you could see actually we're already up to bronze 2. So obviously in the last game it took so long to actually rank up at all. But I think this time they've got much smaller gaps between the points, and you actually get more, because I think you used to get like 20 points for like winning a race or something in last year's game. It was ridiculous. So it does seem that they have made a bit of an improvement. But there you go then. That was my first week of Live GP. Like I said at the start of the video, let me know what you guys think of this video format in the comments below. Career mode will be out tomorrow. I was just kind of waiting, to be honest, for the new MotoGP models to come, which have obviously now come out, so I will get straight back on with career mode. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about it. And I just wanted to do a couple of online videos as well, just to show off that side of the game. If you are new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe. It really helps me out. And of course, it's a win-win for both of us, as you get some more MotoGP 24 game content in your subscription feed. But I hope you do enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're staying safe, and I shall see you in the next one.